Hey everybody, I'm Eric O'Keefe. Today I'm here with Steve Donahue, and Steve is a really, really interesting story. And we decided to bring him on to talk about his story, but not only that, talk about how Stronger has really helped shape him, get him into shape, change his life in many different ways. And he's here to explain the entire process, the benefits, and his entire experience with all of it. So Steve, thanks so much for taking the time to come on and share your story. Appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
All
Yep,
right, so let's go back. We were talking before we recorded. Let's go back before you joined Stronger. You'd gone through some, I guess, some pretty severe physical things that kind of changed your life in a way. So can you just kind of let us in and share with us what had gone on?
yeah, I mean, after you come out of an amputation, you're basically very frail, very weak. I did start at a gym where I had done my rehab. Stayed there a couple years. Time to move on, try something different. The last gym I was at before Stronger just wasn't cutting it. I wasn't
Mm,
self motivated enough. I was in reasonably good shape, I thought, but I think everybody thinks they're in reasonably good shape
yeah.
until they join Stronger. Then they kind of learn what being in shape is all
Right.
about.
For sure. For sure. Now you mentioned amputation. What was amputated? Was it obviously you got
I have
both
a
hands? So
I have a below the knee
okay.
amputation of my right leg.
Okay, so obviously that shifted things for you at that time, right? In terms of mobility, the way you kind of learned to live and react, and that's one
Yeah,
of the reasons you're going to the other gyms.
yeah. I always wanted to, and one of the main things they stressed when I first came out is that need to be stronger to get through this. I mean, they actually told me at one point, most amputees that have this type of operation or infection don't survive more than 2 years
Mm.
on the average. So, kind of took that as a wake up call, if
Mhm.
you will, and started working out. And I thought, like I said, I thought I was in reasonably good shape. Um, but once you hit Stronger, you realize what they you're really not. You're
Okay.
really not.
So you mentioned these previous gyms, you used the phrase they just weren't cutting it. So then what was it that led you to Stronger? Like what was it that kind of just pushed you in that
Well,
direction?
well, first again, the start of the 45-day shred. I wanted to take off some weight.
Okay.
I wasn't, I didn't want to lose a ton of weight. I didn't think I needed to lose a ton of weight, but I also suffer from diabetes,
Okay.
and that's something that diet and exercise certainly will help improve. So I thought joining the shred would be a good way to get me started that way.
Okay.
So I just as a quick aside, today I went to see my endocrinologist for my 6 month, 6 month um, examination. Basically, the time since I've been at Stronger, and my A1C has gone from 7.9 to an unbelievable low of 6.5.
Wow.
I barely use any, if just a skosh of insulin once in a while since then. So it's been about a good 90 to 100 days now that I've been basically insulin free,
Wow.
and my numbers are incredible from there.
All right. Well, let's keep going with that then. I mean, that's obviously really huge part for of things that you're doing. I mean, just that alone, how does that make you feel knowing that you've dropped those numbers like that?
Yeah, I was pretty, I was pretty confident going into the doctor's office today. Sometimes when you've been bad, and sometimes
Yeah.
and you're waiting to come here and be scolded or whatever. But she walked in with a smile on her face as they test you before you go in to see the doctor, and she was pretty much stunned by that number, 6.5. From
Yeah.
where I was.
Yeah. And
So
that's shifting a
I
lot
was
of things.
happy. Yeah, that, and since it's read about 14 pounds, I'm down in weight also.
And that's what you were looking like. You mentioned the 45-day shred months ago. You're looking to come in
Yeah,
in in
right.
the
So
process
and
over
then after
time.
that, and then when that ended, Eric, I was you know you don't want to quit. So I'm now a member, now a
Yeah.
full-fledged member of Frank's gang. Yeah, it's
So you've dropped the 14 pounds. The the numbers and the diabetic insulin stuff have just come down
yeah.
dramatically. So I mean, there's obviously side benefits to this too. So what else have you noticed? Have you noticed different things, maybe in energy or sleeping patterns, stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty much more energy. It was a little, truthfully, it was a little tough to getting used to the lower insulin numbers, as they sometimes at times gave me a tired feeling getting used to having your sugar levels lower
Hmm.
in your body. You're used to having them up to, well, mine we used to be up to whatever. And So that was a little tough to adjusting to that, that part of it. My diet wasn't horrible before I started
Mm-hmm.
there, but I got to admit to being a snacker. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we got a call a couple months ago from Trader Joe's wondering why I wasn't over there getting ice cream sandwiches from them. So there's
Gotcha.
I would be hurting their business.
Gotcha. Yeah. So there were some energy fluctuations in the process and in the
Yeah,
transition type of things. How
right.
about in terms of what you're able to do, right? You talked about, the other gyms, and we previously talked about how some of they had set
Yeah.
stuff up for you, but what have you noticed in terms of life and mobility, things like that, after being with Stronger?
Well, I'm sure it's challenging for everybody over there. I mean, I know, you walk in and you take a look at that board of what they have up there for you to do for the day, and you think, boy, if I can get through that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that, but you end up doing it, and the trainers, I, Joe Wagset, Matt Cummings, they're great for adapting some of the things that I can't I can't quite do yet. There are
Mm-hmm.
some floor things and some mobility things that I'm not quite up to doing yet, and those guys have been great adapting um,
Yeah.
what the exercise is for the day to my own needs. So my New Year's resolution was to have them do less of that, and hopefully it's going to prove out to be
Okay.
true.
All right. How about strength levels? Because obviously, right after what you'd gone through, body
Yeah.
goes through a little bit of shock and transition, things like. So, what have you noticed in terms of strength?
Yeah, well, what you noticed was it's been about 4, 5 years
Mm-hmm.
since the amputations, but again, what you notice is that you think you might be going to the gym and you might think you're strong, you're not till you get over there and have and do what they have you do. You really like anything else. You're starting to use new muscles, new knew everything, and it's the hardest part really sometimes was finding a way with my own balance and stuff like that more than the strength issues of having to do their exercises and the programs they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, Joe and Matt and all the trainers have been great over there about helping me adapt to doing certain things certain ways. There's still things over there that people can do that I can't, but I'm sure I'm getting as good a workout as they are, thanks to the
Yeah.
trainers.
What would you say on the results or benefits side of things? It could be something that we've mentioned already, but what's been your favorite part of it? What's the result that you like the best?
I mean, I like. It sounds corny, but I like being over there with the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great group of people. It's you go over there and you almost feel you do feel like a family. You can talk to people. You can other gyms have been you just kind of go do your own thing, don't talk to anybody, and there's not a lot of gabbing except when you look at it take a break at Stronger. But you talk sports, talk about the Patriots, talk something with somebody over there for a brief moment, and they're all going through the same struggle you are too, which is I think a big thing is everybody's doing the same thing the same day, so everybody's struggling with the same thing or not struggling with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that helps a lot
So
too.
there's through that struggle, there's a connection.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody has their strong and weak points over there,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see somebody rolling their eyes when they really read the board,
Yeah.
and but I think that's the most biggest part, the biggest part of it, and there's a comfort level there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tell you something that I don't think anybody over there knows is this is the first gym that I've wore shorts to.
Wow.
I was never comfortable enough at any other gym um, to let people know that I was wearing a prosthetic.
Wow. That's big. So
I mean,
confidence levels have just gone through the roof then in that we're talking.
confidence level and a comfort level where it wasn't that I think that's most important is the comfort level over there that I could wear that and then not really give it a second thought and nobody was gonna judge me for it.
Wow. Okay. And so obviously going in, that's not something you probably expected to happen, right? Didn't think you were going to be doing something like that.
No, pretty intimidating place when you first get there
Hmm.
until you start but they make you feel at home right away. I mean
Yeah.
again I can't stress how helpful the trainers and stuff were from day one. And
Yep. Did
I'm
you
sure
expect?
I'm sure I'm not. Well, I may be the first amputee. I'm not sure, but they weren't phased by it at all, which was great.
Mm. Did you expect the community culture, like atmosphere, family type of feel as well when you did you expect that?
No, I mean I had heard about it, but
Hmm.
until you experience it, you think, what can it be? It's a gym,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit more than that. It really is. I think everybody knows something about somebody there, and has a little inside joke with somebody there, and it's a little bit family feeling of community over there.
Hmm.
And I think Frank really kind of pushes that. I think that in his the big difference between this gym and the other gyms I've been to is Frank pushing the nutritional part, which was huge in my um, help of my diabetes.
For
It was
sure.
absolutely, if it wasn't for that part of it, him actually stressing that nutrition, pounding that nutrition, Joe pounding the nutrition every day, I wouldn't have a 6.5 A1C today. I
Yeah.
know I wouldn't.
So with the experience of going through there, the atmosphere, this connection with everybody, obviously getting the results that you did, would you go as far as say this has been a life-changing experience for you?
It's pretty close. I mean, I guess you'd have to say your kids and stuff like that might be more, but yeah, it's something that I'm certainly glad that I became aware of, and glad that I'm now a member.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
transformational, I guess.
yeah, it's somewhat, yeah,
Okay.
it is, and you actually look forward to, as unbelievably hard as some of the workouts, you actually look forward to walking in there on your scheduled time, and seeing what's up and seeing what the challenge is for the day.
Yeah. Like a second home.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, a
Okay.
little bit, yeah.
Okay. So let's say there's somebody who's watching this, and for whatever reason, they're not convinced that this is the right place. Let's say they're on the fence. They're thinking of signing up, but they're on the fence or
Yeah.
50-50. What would you want to tell that person to push them off the fence and let them know that this is a good place for them?
I've told people this, and again, I mentioned it to you. You really don't know how your strength level, or how strong you aren't, if you will, until you go over there and try something different. Most of these gyms, you're getting repetitive. You're not getting the results because you're just doing the same damn thing over and over. Every day at these gyms, and I tell people, come change it up. It's a nice group of people, a great group of people, and I know it'll work for you if it worked for me.
Okay. All right. And then I guess let's say right now, Frank, all trainers are turning off their phones, turning off email, and Frank's literally shutting the doors to the place, like completely shutting it down. And this is the last time you could ever say anything to them.
Yeah,
Knowing it's the last time, what would you want to tell them?
I can't thank them enough for what they've allowed me to do. Their instructions, and Frank's and Joe's emphasis on nutrition. It's you don't even know how much it's helped me. It's been a great help, and I would thank them for that.
Well, Steve, I appreciate you taking the time to come on, share your experience. It's obvious what it's been able to do for you. I think it's been amazing at all the changes that you've seen in just a really short period of time. And I want to wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I
All right.
appreciate
You
it.
take care.
Thanks.